So, when you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Hasan Mohammad Al-Hamadi. We're keeping you busy. All yours.
Hello, hello. Yes. Okay. Well, most of you would. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Most of you would maybe wonder now, what is this guy can say after 2 days of intensive presentations about cybersecurity? In fact, I have nothing to say. I was blown away with all the information that has been delivered these 2 days, and in fact, I'm leaving. No, I mean, I have 20 minutes to go, so I don't know what to. Well, I will start with a story. In the Arabic culture, back in 1705, an Arabic storyteller wrote a story about a thief and his 40 companions, which is Ali Baba and the 40 thieves. Okay, I'm sure maybe many of you have heard of this story, but let's take it step by step and see how we can apply this to cybersecurity. Well, it talks about Ali Baba and his brother Qasim. Let me just try. Okay, well, yeah, by the way, my name is Hasan Hamadi. I'm team leader, information technology, KPI, or the brand name or the commercial name for our company is Q8. Yeah, so let's go back to Ali Baba. Now, he has a brother called Qasim, and both their father was a good businessman, so he died. And they both got married. Now, Qasim got married to a rich lady, and he continued his father's business, and he was okay, of course. And Ali Baba, he married a poor lady, and well, he didn't get that much, so he was working as a woodcutter. And so, as you can see, the first moral of the story probably is if you want to get married, try to get the rich one, because it will make your life much easier. Now, while he was in the woods, Ali Baba he has spotted some people going through a cave or something like that. Anyway, and then the thief or their leader shouted, "Iftah ya Simsim," or open sesame. Now, as you can see, now this open sesame is the password, right? So Ali Baba has got that. So to continue the story, and then I'll get back to that. Ali Baba got the password, and he used to get into this cave and steal small portions of this money. And of course, he got rich, and he got a big house and everything. But the thieves or those gang, they have identified that Ali Baba has known the secret, and then they try to kill him. Now, the first thing they tried to do is that this guy who was the thief, the thieves, they get into his house with barrels of oil, as in like, they want to sell him oil. So with 40 barrels of oil, they got in, but his maid, Ali Baba maid, whose name is Murjana, as you can see here, she killed them all. Okay, and now the only left is the leader of the thieves. The next day, he came to the castle or whatever, his house, and he was trying to impose as a poet. And the thing is that also Murjana again saved the day, and she spotted him, and she performed a dance, like a sword dance, and she killed him. So now, let's go back to the story. And this is why I'm telling the story. Now, that thief, the leader, by compromising the security, he lost his money, he lost his friends, his companions, his gang, they all died and everything. It's just because he didn't know how to keep that secret. Okay? Now, how would we label this? We label this as the human factor. Just the slide before talked about what is the weakest link in cybersecurity, which is the human factor. Why? Because he didn't know how to keep that secret. I mean, he could have gone to the cave and say, "Iftah ya Samsa," and Alibaba maybe wouldn't hear him, right? Or maybe now, and the second thing is, I mean, the moral of the story. The second moral of the story is he could not identify what is to protect. I mean, take this scenario for example. Now, what is really valuable here? The password or the money? I would say the money. Okay. Now, if this thief have relocated the money somewhere else, or maybe he asked the witch who cast the spell on that cave to change the password or whatever. Anyway, if he did that, if he relocated the money, then the secret that Alibaba knows wouldn't make any difference, right? And he wouldn't have, taken the money or anything else. So this is the idea. When we are in a corporate, we have the most important thing is to identify what is it that I am protecting. Is it a hardware? Is it a software? Is it an information? Is it a formula? What is it exactly that I'm protecting? And then it'll be much easier and it will make more sense how to protect it. Okay. Now, we're talking about human factor, right? So we're talking about human. Hello? Yeah. All of us are humans, and we are people. And when you say that when we're talking about personal security, we're talking about a person. And you cannot really segregate a person from him being human. So what I'm trying to say is that the personal security is equivalent to the corporate security because you are working in that corporate. Why? Because we cannot say that he's not a person. He is a person, and he has personal security. Now, how serious this personal security is. Now, we have technologies on our doorsteps. Talking about Internet of Things, genetic engineering, smart cities, smart homes, autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence, and so on. The list goes on. Now, what do we mean by Internet of Things, for example? We mean that everything in your house is connected to the internet. Connected to the internet, automated. You can control it. It can sense something and send something to other processor to get you information, to get you readings, whatever. So, for example, let's go back to Alibaba's story, and let's say that they had the Internet of Things back then, okay? So Alibaba didn't need really to know the secret, which is open sesame, okay? He could have, for example, shouted, "Alexa, open the door, open the gate," and it just will open the gate because it's everything is automated, right? So when we have these technologies, when we as people, okay, having all these technology, everything around us is connected. The more connectivity, the more automation is, the more vulnerabilities that we have, for sure. Alibaba cave had only one access. Imagine that Alibaba's cave had windows and I don't know, holes and some ventilations here and there. Of course, there will be more vulnerabilities. And it's exactly the same as the thing, let's say, that you are trying to protect in your corporation. You need to identify that thing and you need to protect it from where it's surrounding. And of course, the most vulnerable is the human factor. Now, after that, we can say, okay, what do we do? Or if I want to invest in cybersecurity, what is important for me to know? First of all, you need to do a risk assessment. Risk assessment is very important for if you want to invest in cybersecurity. I mean, okay, we have heard today and yesterday, of course, a lot about risk assessment. And what is risk assessment? It's basically identifying the probability of this threat happens, okay, and how important, okay, this asset for me that this vulnerability could happen to it. For example, 2 weeks ago, I remember one of my colleagues came to me and he said that, okay, we need to implement such and such technology on our network because our network is very important, and because it's connected to all our affiliates in Europe and Asia and this and that. And yes, okay, all very good talk. And then I told him, okay, what this is going to prevent us from? He said, well, it will prevent us from a possible attack that will compromise our internet access from the outside. And I said, okay, what is the likelihood of this happening or happened? He said, well, I don't know, but statistics say 1 in 100,000 times or something. I say, okay, fine. And what is the impact of this? He said, well, the impact is we will be offline for 2 minutes, and then our backup will kick off, and it will be okay. And how much do you think we need to spend? He said, well, 270,000 euros. Say, okay. Do you really need to spend that much money for just to interrupt this internet connection for 2 minutes? I mean, is it connected to our operation? Is it that valuable for you that we will be online 24/7? And the likelihood of 100,000 and 1 in 100,000 that this happens? I mean, what I'm trying to say is, Henry Ford once said, if you have $100, spend $99 on marketing and only $1 on the product. And I'm saying here, if you have $100, you have to spend at least $70, okay, on what is happening after the attack. Of course, we need to, I'm not saying that we don't need to be prepared. We have to be prepared. However, it will also give you a peace of mind. If you know what will happen after the attack, if the attack happens, it'll be much easier for you. This is one. The second thing is that I'm sure that all of the experts here agree with me that there is no system 100% secure. And no company, no security company can give me the guarantee that you will never be attacked. This is no way, 100% you will never be attacked. This is not possible. I don't think it's possible. If it's possible, we wouldn't be here, right? So we have to spend more time on let's always assume that, okay, we will be attacked. We will be attacked, and what can we do right now after the attack? You will be confident of what you do because you know that, okay, if I'm attacked, I will do this, I will do this. Of course, along with the risk assessment and everything that is tells you where to focus, and the disaster recovery and business continuity and all these standards. But I mean, let's spend more time on the post-attack because nothing really is 100% secure. Okay, maybe I was ahead of myself here. This is exactly what I mean. And awareness. Now, one of the stories that I was talking to a friend of mine here back in drinking some coffee here. He said that they're trying to apply the security policies and security controls on the operation side of their company. And he find a lot of resistance, a lot of resistance. They're just telling them, okay, what you have to do is you cannot use, for example, internet. You cannot use Gmail. You cannot use USB. You cannot use this. You cannot use that. You cannot use that. So, I mean, of course, you will have a resistance in that. So the awareness sometimes is also misled. I mean, not only the end users need awareness, also the security people need awareness. What would be the ideal situation in my friend's situation, is for them to go down to these operation people and tell them, you know, we are implementing this because of 1, 2, 3, because this, because that. I mean, they try to get the buy-in, because at the end of the day, operation are the core business of the company. If IT security division, with all due respect, cease to work, the operation will continue. Yes, it'll be vulnerable, but it will continue, and the company will still generate money. But if the operation stops, there is no company. So the awareness has to be also, I mean, not only for the end user, but also for the IT security experts that are in the company, or if you are outsourcing this, also this needs to be addressed. And that's it. If you have any questions, do we have any time for questions? Okay. Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can ask you for your name, your company, and your question.
Everybody knows me, and IT hates me. I'm Bill Cotter from 3M, and I'm going to go right for it. This time, as much a comment as a question, in that your last statement about telling people, you know, what you want to do and selling them on why and why it's important is very good, but it's just as important to make sure that what you're selling is valuable to them or it works. And a good example is USB keys. Everyone says, yo, you don't want to have USB keys, but for some programming control devices, you need a USB key to transfer the information. So you got to make sure the message is correct and clear for what you're trying to accomplish. So you have a comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. See, again, I would actually go back to Henry Ford example. What we do is marketing. I mean, from your position, wherever you are a marketing for your department. And the best example is the IT security team. Because the IT security team is, in general, they're selling something very boring. Huh? They're selling something that's, you have to adhere to policies, you have to adhere to this, to that. And some people, of course, they get resistant. Now, I do agree that, yes, and it has to be in a very innovative marketing way. And we have to also tell them exactly that this is going to be benefiting you. I mean, we're working together, and this is going to be the benefit for the whole company. So, thank you. Yes. Any other question?
Well, if there are no other questions, I would like to be the first to say thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Hasan Mohammad Al-Hamadi, thank you.